In South Korea, roughly 3 out of every 4 school-age children attend a private tutoring academy after their regular school day ends. These academies are called hagwons, and they are not a niche service. They are an industry worth roughly $20 billion a year. That figure comes from Statistics Korea's annual household expenditure surveys. The question that number raises is a simple one. What kind of society builds a second school system the size of a major national industry, runs it after dark, and fills it with children? The answer touches something much larger than education policy. It is about what a society decides to optimize for and who bears the cost of that decision. According to Statistics Korea, approximately 74.5% of Korean elementary, middle, and high school students participated in private tutoring or hagwon attendance as of their most recent comprehensive survey. Korean families spend an average of around 400,000 Korean won per child per month on private education, roughly $300. That figure rises sharply in Seoul's wealthier districts like Gangnam, where monthly spending per child can exceed 1 million won. The OECD has consistently ranked South Korea among the highest in the world for private tutoring expenditure as a share of household income. Hagwons themselves number in the tens of thousands. Statistics. Korea counted over 100,000 licensed private tutoring institutions operating across the country in recent reporting years. Many children attend 2 or 3 separate hagwons in a single evening, covering mathematics, English, and a third subject simultaneously. These are not remedial programs. Most students attending them are already performing at or above grade level. To understand the hagwon industry, you have to understand one exam: the College Scholastic Ability Test, known in Korea as the Sunyung. It is administered once per year on a single November morning, and its results are the primary gateway to Korea's most prestigious universities. Entry to those universities is widely understood as the most reliable path to a stable career, a desirable marriage market, and upward social mobility. Korea compressed several decades of economic development into a short window after the Korean War, and education became the principal mechanism through which ordinary families could secure a position in that rapidly changing economy. Sociologist Chang Kyung-sup has described this as a form of institutionalized anxiety, a structural feature of compressed modernization. When the reward structure is winner-take-all and the stakes are perceived as generational, families rationally invest as much as they can afford. Hagwons emerge to fill the gap between what public schools provide and what families believe is needed to win. The government has attempted to regulate hagwon operating hours, banning instruction after 10 p.m. in most districts, but enforcement has been inconsistent, and the underlying incentive structure has never changed. The costs are measurable in several dimensions. South Korean adolescents rank among the lowest in the developed world for self-reported happiness and life satisfaction, according to OECD data from the Program for International Student Assessment. Korea's youth suicide rate has been a persistent public health concern. The Korean Statistical Information Service reports suicide as the leading cause of death among Koreans aged 10 to 19 in multiple recent years. Sleep deprivation is systemic. Studies published in Korean medical and public health journals have found that a significant share of Korean middle and high school students sleep fewer than 6 hours per night. The financial burden also deepens inequality. Families in lower income brackets who cannot afford premium hagwons watch the gap between their children and wealthier peers widen year after year. A 2023 report from the Korean Educational Development Institute noted that private education spending correlates strongly with household income, meaning the competition the system was meant to democratize has instead calcified into a spending race. The very mechanism designed to create equal opportunity has become a vehicle for reproducing privilege. Korea is not alone in this. Shadow education industries have grown rapidly in China, Japan, India, Singapore, and across parts of Eastern Europe and the Middle East. What Korea shows perhaps more clearly than anywhere else is what happens when that system runs to its logical conclusion over several decades. A high-performing public education sector and a massive private tutoring industry can coexist, but the combination does not produce greater equality or greater well-being. It produces a credentialing arms race in which each family's rational individual decision collectively exhausts the children the system is meant to serve. The lesson is structural, not cultural. It is not that Korean parents love their children less or differently. It is that when a single high-stakes gateway controls access to life outcomes, families will spend whatever it takes to prepare their children for that gateway. And the industry that forms around that gateway will grow without natural limit. Any society designing its education system would do well to ask what that gateway selects for, who can afford to train for it, and what it costs the children standing in line.